Why do I keep pointing at the camera? Hi guys, welcome back to a new skills tutorial. Today we're going to be taking you through some tap skills. I'm going to start with some shuffles, some brush backs, some double pullbacks, all different stages, and then we're going to go on to double brush forwards. So if you're a more advanced student, don't stop watching, keep watching the whole way through because we're going to get progressively harder and you can use the easier steps as your warm-up. If you're an earlier student or a beginner student, start with what you can do and then as it gets too hard for you, click off. Make sure you get permission before you do this at home. Don't put tap shoes on and just tap on your parents' floors. You can use any old piece of wood and put it in your backyard like I've done, or you can use normal shoes, any normal shoes, and do it on the wooden floor or carpet at home.
Okay, so we're going to start with a warm-up and rolling our ankles, making sure we're making nice big circles, and round the other way. And repeat this on the other side. And I always like to give my ankles a bit of a shake afterwards, make sure they're nice and loose. Then we're going to do some taps, so tapping to the front. I do this 8 times, then I go out to the side. And we're going to take this around to the back as well and do some knocks at the back. And then repeating all of that on the other side. Next, we're going to do some fast tapping. You want to do this as fast as you can, starting at the front and taking it all the way around to the back and repeating on the other side. So the first step I'm going to be taking you through is brush backs. To make sure we've got the right form for a brush back, we're going to do some shuffles first. So these should be going forward and back with some really nice ankle movement. So toes coming up and down, and only brushing the top part of our shoe. So making sure we're not getting any heels in there. And see this from the side, you should see that toe moving down and up as it hits the floor. Now for our brush backs, we're lifting our foot up and snapping that toe part of our shoe on the ground. So we just want to hit that front tap and avoid getting any heels in there. So once you've got those steps down, we want to move on to double pullbacks. So to get these, we need to start off with a drill, standing on one foot. We're lifting up the front of our toe, snapping it on the floor, and landing on the other foot. Once you can do this, this is the hardest part of your double pullbacks. So if you can really nail this drill, you'll be able to do your double pullbacks really easily. And of course, make sure you're trying it on the other side. Now that we've got that, we can move on to our double pullbacks. So we're starting up on our heels. This is the easiest way to get these sounds in. We really want to bend our knees, keep nice and low to the ground, and snapping both of our feet on the ground and landing on our toes. So making sure we're not hearing any heel sounds. And of course, try that on the left side. If you're getting these sounds in from your heels, now you can try from flat feet. So we're going to stamp our feet down so they're nice and flat, lifting up our toes just a little bit without going all the way back up onto our heels. And we're doing the same motion, snapping our toes on the ground. First your right foot, then your left foot toe, and landing on our toes. And of course, try that on the left side. Remember to keep your knees bent and lifting up your toes just a little bit so you have room to snap them on the floor. Now onto the hardest version of double pullbacks. We're going straight from our toes. So you're not going to be able to rock back on your heels for these ones, which means you have to do a tiny little bit of a jump before you brush back both your toes and land on the ground. You can see here how it's really tricky to find your balance from your toes before you take your jump and brush those toes back. So that might be something you need to work on. It takes a lot of practice to get these ones, to figure out the right height to jump, to be able to still hit those toes on the ground. So if you find you're missing the ground, you're jumping too high. And if you find your sounds are all blurring together, you probably need to jump a little bit higher. This one will take a lot of practice. Now onto the hardest step I have for you, double brush forwards. So with these ones, it's a similar motion, but instead of brushing backwards, we're now brushing forwards. So lifting up your toes just a little bit. We want to hit both toes in a forward motion, not a backwards motion, and moving forward, landing on our toes. From the side here, you can really see how you need to stay low and rock back on those heels before you push forward. And don't forget to try this on the other side as well. If you've gotten this far, well done. Now we're going to try and do multiples in a row. So you want to try and do 2, maybe even 3. The second time you go, you won't be able to rock back on those heels though. So this is where it gets tricky. And just like with our pullbacks from our toes, you'll need to figure out the exact right amount to jump to get those sounds in.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you send us some videos of you trying this out at home, because we would love to see you. And stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you next week with another video. An old piece of wood like I've done in my backyard. That's not true, I bought it.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
So they're like, pullbacks?
Yeah.
Not forward.